What's cracking, my dudes? This is Randy back with another video. And so since we are just about halfway through the year 2022, I wanted to take a look back and let you guys know my 5 favorite new releases in the designer community as far as men's fragrances are concerned. I'm going to go through that, and then I'm also going to throw in an extra and let you know what my favorite 2022 new release as far as cheapies are concerned. And so I'll go through that. So without further ado, let's get it.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah.
Alright, welcome back, guys. So this is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude, back with another video. Before I get into the video, again, I'm doing another top 5 list. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for future notifications if you like my content. If you don't like my content, then I still appreciate you being here anyway. So with that said, again, we are about halfway through 2022, and I had a bunch of fragrances. This has been a killer year for new releases, especially for the first 5 months. And so I want to go back, take a look-see into my collection and my 5 favorite new releases of this year. The ones that I think are going to live on, that are going to be hits for the future. And then I also want to throw in a little bit of a bonus at the end and let you guys know my favorite cheapie of the year. Even though there hasn't been very many, what my favorite cheapie that I think is a rare gem out there that I think you should pick up. So without further ado, let's get into it here. So the first fragrance in my top 5 is going to be one that, and a lot of these are going to be repetitive because we are talking about new releases here, and they all came out in the last couple months. This is going to be Dior Homme Sport 2021. The main notes that you find in Dior Homme Sport 2021 are lemon, bergamot, aldehydes, woods, and olibanum. So what you get with this fragrance, I have hyped it up, so I'm not going to get too much into it. This fragrance is a nice citrus beast, not necessarily a sport fragrance, but you take those lemons, those bergamots, really natural, high quality notes, mix them together with that Dior Homme DNA, and that is what you get with the Dior Homme Sport. I'm not talking about the Iris version of Dior Homme DNA, I'm talking about the new modern version of the Dior Homme DNA. That is that aldehydes, the olibanum, it's really nice. So you mix those aldehydes, those citruses, those woods, put them all together with that Dior Homme DNA. This is what you get, a nice, versatile, fresh fragrance that you can wear day, night, all year round. Probably one of my favorite Dior releases of all time. So you definitely need to try it out. Came out in 2022. One of my favorite signature scents out there. So that's Dior Homme Sport 2021. The second one on my list isn't going to be a surprise to anyone, as I have overhyped it and I was the first one to do a review on YouTube, and that is for the Most Wanted Parfum by Azzaro. This came out in the end of March, and technically it was like April 10th, but I was able to get it early, which is why I reviewed it first. The main notes that you get in the Most Wanted Parfum are bourbon, vanilla, red ginger, and woods. And again, just like a lot of Azzaros that are 3-note breakdowns, this one does not annoy me with the 3-note breakdown because that's all you really need to know. The woods could be just construed as just woods, but it's amberwood. To me, at least to my nose, it's like a mix of amberwood, maybe a bit of sandalwood. But for the most part, what you get with this fragrance, it's similar to the Most Wanted Eau de Parfum Intense, but that one is a little bit fresher and a little bit more gourmand. This one has this sweeter aspect. You take that bourbon vanilla and that red ginger, you get that sweetness, that inviting. It's a fall and winter and early spring fragrance, so it's not as versatile as the Eau de Parfum Intense. This one is more of the nighttime, date night, special occasion, formal. It has that sweet stickiness, warmth, and then you get to the dry down, you get that warmth from the amberwood, those aromatics, those woody notes, really comes nicely together. It sits closer to your skin than the Eau de Parfum Intense, and it probably is my favorite release of the year, although again, I won't be able to wear it until fall. But as you can tell, I've made a huge dent in it, even though there hasn't been that cool of weather yet. So that's Most Wanted Parfum. Came out this year. Fantastic fragrance. Definitely recommend trying it out. It's similar to the Eau de Parfum Intense in the opening, but when you get to that dry down, it really does go its own separate way. The third one on my list is one that came out around that same exact time. Valentino's Coral Fantasy, another sweet fragrance that I think is going to be used around the same time period as the Most Wanted Parfum, although it does have a bit more of a freshness to it. So the main notes that you get from Valentino Coral Fantasy are red apple, cardamom, geranium, and tobacco. And those are the only 4 notes you really need to know, because right in the opening you get this really nice candied apple. It's a synthetic candied apple, obviously, but I don't really care about that. Synthetics are not a bad word. They're used in almost 90% of designers. So it's a candied sweet. If you like sweet candied apples, you would definitely like this. Once you get to the dry down, that is my favorite part of this fragrance, because you get that geranium and tobacco, but mostly tobacco. It is a sweet, inviting tobacco that really pops off your skin, mixes with that candy apple. The candy apple goes to the background, becomes more of a sweetener, and it's like a candy apple tobacco. And that is what you get for the next like 7 or 8 hours. It does project pretty decently, about double arm's length for the first few hours, and it lasts a long time on your skin. I would actually say you get about 8 to 10 hours with this fragrance. Valentino Coral Fantasy. It's mostly for fall and winter, although I would also say it's good for spring and summer nights. So the next one on my list here is one that you guys know I've already made a huge dent in this bottle. It is Lacoste Blanc au Fraiche, or Lacoste L12 Blanc au Fraiche. So the main notes that you find in this are grapefruit, ginger, lemon, apple, juniper, and cedar. This is probably one of the hardest fragrances to describe because it's so unique. If there was a unique fragrance of the year, this would be it. The way that I've described it before, I said to somebody, if you cut a lemon in half, and then you walk into the woods on a really windy day, that is what, and you smell the lemon, that's what you get. It's like a citrus woods with these airy notes coming in. That's why I said it had to be on a windy day, because it's citrusy. You get that lemon, more lemon than anything. Then you get that ginger providing the sweetness. Then you get these green notes, these woody notes, these aromatics, and almost this airy feel in it. It's really unique. It's great for daytime, nighttime. It's more spring and summer. It's a great fragrance that you definitely need to get your nose on, especially now because they just marked it off half off. And then you also get some apple and juniper there, sweetening it up. I would definitely recommend checking this out. One of the best fragrances, if not the most unique, and probably top 2 releases of the year 2022. The last one on my list is going to be the one that is my number 5 spot. So these weren't necessarily in order, but this one would be my number 5. And so this is Hugo Boss Bottled Marine Limited Edition. Some people will disagree with me, some people will agree with me, but I absolutely love this fragrance. So the main notes that you pull from Boss Bottled Marine are frosted apple, mint, clary sage, and woods. I do have to say, as far as this fragrance is concerned, the opening is definitely better than the dry down. The opening is this sweet, sweet apple. It's like almost like an apple pie accord, like the original Boss Bottled, mixed with this fresh mintiness. It's a very versatile fragrance, can be worn day, night, all year round. There's really not a month or a day that you can't wear this. It's not a marine fragrance, although it's called marine. You get this sweet Boss Bottled DNA mixed with some freshness, some mint, and a bit of clary sage. It's a fantastic opening. I would definitely recommend getting your nose on it. The opening lasts for about a half hour or so, and then you get to almost like a generic dry down where it's a clary sage woody mixture. So you get those aromatics, those woods, and a bit of a floral take, but it's good. I would say it goes from like a 9.5 out of 10 from the opening to about a 7.8 out of 10 from the dry down, but still, because of that opening, it makes this fragrance number 5 on my list, and I still don't mind the dry down, and I can spray it as much as I want. It's not going to be too expensive coming up. I would say probably going to be about $50 or $60 soon. So that's Boss Bottled Marine Limited Edition. That is number 5 on my list, and again, it's a really good fragrance. You definitely need to get your nose on and just try things out for yourself. It doesn't last very long. I would say about the 5-hour mark, just like other Boss Bottles out there. So now we're going to get into the one extra. The one that I think is the best Rare gem out there for the price. And it was again released in early, I think it was February of 2022. And it's Starwalker Extreme by Mont Blanc. I wore this again last night, and I haven't talked about it in a while, so I wanted to put this in the video because of how good it is. The main notes that you pull from Starwalker Extreme are mandarin orange, pineapple, geranium, tonka bean, and sandalwood. What you get in this fragrance is in the opening, you get this semi-sweet pineapple mixed with that mandarin orange. It gives it a fruity, citrusy, green tinge to it. And then you get that geranium, giving it a little bit of a sweet floral note, as well as that tonka bean and sandalwood coming in the dry down. Although that tonka bean is also in the opening, giving it a sweetening vanilla in the background. The tonka bean becomes the main player in the base, mixing with those sweet notes that start to dissipate the background, and you're left with this vanilla aromatic woody base. Lasts about 6 hours. It doesn't project heavily, but as far as the price, I got this for, I don't believe it was like 18 bucks. I don't know. It was a while ago. This is probably the best release of the year as far as cheap fragrances under $30. I haven't seen one. There are other fragrances again that will drop in price, and maybe at that point in time they will be better, but this fragrance so far is a great pickup. I found it at TJ Maxx. You can get it at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, anything. Find them in the clearance section. It's definitely worth the price. Starwalker Extreme Mont Blanc. So again, I'm going to go through real quick my list, not in order. Coral Fantasy Valentino. It's a red candied apple with a tobacconess. You get this. It's a bourbon vanilla ginger woody fragrance. It's most wanted Parfum. You have your citrus aldehydic Dior Homme DNA mixture, Dior Homme Sport 2021. It's a nice signature fragrance. You have your nice green citrusy fragrance with this woods in it, and that is Lacoste Blanco Fraiche. Very unique, probably the most unique fragrance of the year. Then you have your fragrance Boss Bottled Marine. That is a hyper versatile fragrance. It's sweet, it's inviting, it's very nice. Definitely need to get your nose on it. The dry down's not as good. And then you have your cheap Starwalker Extreme. Not cheap as in the smell, it's cheap as in price. It has a really nice sweet citrus greenness. And then when you get to the dry down, you get this vanilla tonka bean sandalwood mixture. Really nice. So let me know what your guys' list is. Let me know if you like my list. So drop it in the comments, and then also subscribe and like this video. And I will be back with another list. Peace out.